All right, good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, everybody. I don't even know why I say good afternoon. It's only 9 in the morning. Uh, First, I want to say hello and say I hope everybody is doing well and staying healthy and staying safe. I know that if your weeks have looked anything like mine, there's been a lot of time spent at home, and so I hope everybody is doing well and is not suffering too much from coronavirus. That nobody is ill, that nobody is um, is finding themselves sick or is finding any of their family to be sick. So the important things I want to discuss today is really my goal today is just to give you a brief overview of what the class will look like from this point on, from now through the rest of the semester. The biggest thing is that instead of meeting in White Sit 307, we will now be meeting here virtually online, and there will be a lot less interaction between myself and the students of this class, which for me is a shame, but I will say that this is a class that lends itself pretty easily to being online, so that's of benefit. So each week, each Monday, I will post a video into Canvas, and you will go and watch the video. So essentially, starting this week, I will email, let you know video has been posted, and then you will go and watch the video. So for this class, there is no real instruction on a book or anything like that. So I will give you sort of a brief overview of the topic that we are discussing that week. And then from that point on, you will be given a discussion topic, and then that discussion topic you will be expected to go into Canvas and post two discussion posts. Okay, so I want two posts at least 4 sentences long, both posts. Each post has to be at least 4 sentences long. And what I want is your response to my prompt and then a response to a peer. Okay, so it's pretty simple, pretty basic. It shouldn't take a whole lot of time, and largely the discussion topics will be posted or will be relevant to whatever topic we're discussing or whatever topic I'll be discussing on Mondays. Okay. So for this week, the one thing I want to go over, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. I believe that this is the week that you have a paper due. I believe that's what I saw in the syllabus. But I have everything right in Canvas. You'll notice that I've adjusted Canvas a little bit to where we're now working in modules, and you will just turn in the work as each week goes through. Honestly, if you are one that you like to get through the work as quickly as possible, I have no problem with that. You can go ahead and post the papers, post all that stuff online, and I'll do the grading. I think the only exception is that you have a quiz next week, and other than that, you can have an opportunity if you are sitting at home and you have nothing else going on. One sort of positive about all this is you can go out there and uh, bust it for a few days or a few weeks and get all your papers done, and you could potentially be done with this class pretty quickly. Um, Other than that, the discussion I want to have this week. I know in the syllabus I have it listed as Todd Ravel's social interaction theory, I believe. But this week, I think that there's more interesting, more important information, sort of discussion to be had. And this discussion this week I want to have with everybody is about the coronavirus response. Okay, and the reason I want to have that response, the reason I want to have the discussion is because, like I said a few minutes ago, if you, like me, have been locked in your house, largely locked in your house, um, for whether you choose to be or not. Uh, it has been a long few weeks, and right now there is sort of no projected end date to this, right? So depending on whatever resource you might listen to, you might hear sort of the end of April. This will all sort of calm down, but then you might hear 6 months. You might hear, my dad is a very religious individual, and so he watches a lot of very religious TV, and there's one pastor that is predicting that it'll last 18 months. This whole ball of wax will last for 18 months. And so you can get a lot of different opinions out there, and some of them are very, very concerning, right? I don't want to be doing this for the next 18 months. And so that is why I'm giving you the opportunity this week to just discuss this. Discuss how you're doing with all this, discuss how you're feeling, and discuss, what are you missing of social interaction? Are you missing social interaction? Are you an individual that you see no real use for social interaction to begin with, and so this is really, you've been practicing for this your entire life, and so for you there is no real difference between today and 3 months ago, except for the fact that maybe it's a little bit harder to get toilet paper at Walmart. So ultimately, that's a discussion I want to have. And so the big thing I want to emphasize here is that this is a opportunity for us to vent, to be supported, to just discuss how we're feeling. Okay, so the reason I say that is because there are 21 people in this classroom. There can be 21 different responses to this, and it is very, very reasonable for an individual to be nervous, to be anxious, to be scared, to be uncertain about the future. And so that can lead to different responses in every individual. Okay, so if you are reading the discussion posts and you're looking for somebody to respond to, and you see an individual who says something that you think is completely stupid or completely wrong, this is not an opportunity for you to try and call them out and tell them that they are wrong. Okay, this is an opportunity for us to support our peers, to support our fellow man or woman. And so that is what this is for, okay? I have found that I really have a lot of irritation with all this, and with varying levels. And so understand that no matter what you say in this situation, that I appreciate any feedback or any opinions at all. I myself, I tend to oscillate between very, very angry about the fact that I'm locked in my house and I'm unable to, go to my office. I'm unable to sort of, live my life as I was, 3 months ago or even 3 weeks ago, all the way to just, angry at the fact that I had neighbors the other night, Pittsburgh, students are coming back to town, and at least 3 houses in my neighborhood were having house parties with a bunch of students, and on the same day that there was a call for stay-at-home orders. So there's an opportunity for you to post your responses, post how you've been doing. If you are one that has thought this is completely stupid, and there's no reason to do any of this, and I went to, I was one of the ones that went to South Padre Island, or I was one of the ones that went to Florida, please let us know, throw that out there. Don't be afraid to share your opinion. And if there's any hate or any hurtful words that are directed back at any individual, I'm going to delete those posts, and you won't get any credit for those posts, okay? And that's not because I'm trying to censor anybody, but ultimately the goal of this is to let everybody sort of vent how they're feeling. Honestly, it sucks to live in a town where everything is closed, right? Like my favorite restaurants are closed. My favorite, all the churches are closed. Essentially, everything is closed other than grocery stores. And so it kind of sucks to live in a town that even if I wanted to go out, even if I wanted to go out and sort of not socially distance myself, I can't, right? Like I have nowhere to go. Right? And Crawford County has shut down essentially every business, and so that's an irritation. One positive here is that it's the same if you're in California. All my family, one of the reasons they say they would never live in Kansas is because of lack of amenities. And right now, me and my family in California have the same number of amenities. California is looking exactly like Kansas right now, other than they have mountains. But also, do you see any benefits? Do you see any benefits of this of the coronavirus response, right? So a lot of people are noticing, that there are obviously a lot of very awful things that have, transpired. People are losing their jobs at an alarming rate. People are dying. People are very, very sick. People are suffering. But there are people that are taking the opportunity to be grateful for what they do have, to be grateful for if you do have a job, to be grateful for the fact that we have more time with our families, to be grateful for the fact that I get to see my kids more than I would have otherwise. To be grateful for the fact that we have a Congress that or a Senate that 3 weeks ago seemed like they would never agree on anything. They couldn't agree on on any one particular topic whatsoever. 3 weeks ago, and then last week they voted on a coronavirus response bill, and they voted 96-0 to approve that bill. So that even that can be a positive, something to be grateful for from this response. Is that at the end of the day, whenever it comes to actually supporting people and getting Americans help, we do have a Congress that can step up. Honestly, so I think that's something to be thankful for, to be grateful for. And the reason I'm encouraging you to discuss, being grateful is because the literature is very, very clear that being grateful is very critical for positive mental health. Okay, so that is why we're discussing that this week, and so that is the discussion I'm going to have this week. And so starting next week, we will have social psychology, some social psychological processing, the more in line with the syllabus. But one of the benefits of being in a social psychology class is that all of this is social psychology, right? So our fear is social psychological processing in the fear that we experience. There's social psychological processing in the fact that you go to Walmart here in Pittsburgh, and they now have, I'm sure it's everywhere, but they now have these purple stickers in their checkout stands on how far back 6 feet is from the front of the line. There are all these different responses that we've done, and they're also essentially they're all evidenced in the social psychology literature, which is fantastic. And one of the cool things about this class, and one of the cool things about social psychology, and so that is the discussion I want to have this week. So after this, go on the discussion board and post one discussion post, and then go and find a peer and post a response to them, and just let everybody know how you're doing, and and yeah, so that should be good. If you have any questions, concerns, complaints, whatever it might be, email me, let me know, and we will move through this. And I ask for your flexibility, and I thank you for allowing me a little bit of flexibility as we sort of venture into a huge change in our classes and in our campus. All right, have a great day, have a great week. I will see you next Monday.